I've got an awesome episode for you guys today, and it's about how to be a winner. And the reason for that is because I found a common pattern with winners and our best students. And no, it's not genetic. It's not gifted by their parents, and it's for sure not luck. It is a muscle, and I'm going to talk about, and I'm not talking about your biceps or your glutes. I'm talking about your habits, your traits, and you develop these things over time. So you train this just like a muscle over time as well. And the reason why I'm doing this and want to give you guys a structure today is because I obviously work with you guys every day. I work with startup businesses every day for a living. And, this is what I've found to be, all you guys want to be the best version of yourselves, right? And level up your life. So I often get the question on how do I guarantee my success? A lot of people ask me that. What's the number one thing? How do I become a high performer, high achieving, winning mother trucker, right? And when I get asked this, many times when people do ask me this question, as if they kind of ask it in a way as if they are born as a winner, right? Like born as a high achiever or a high performer, like you're naturally gifted or have a lottery ticket up your ass. And although there may be some people and exceptions to this rule, but most people in society are losers. They're underachievers, underperformers, and most of society is just average, right? But most people want to build and develop themselves into becoming a winner, or at least say that they want to. But the reality is that most people are losers. They give up too early. They believe that outside circumstances and variables control their outcome. And they have no internal control that allows them to say, I am responsible for everything that happens in my life, including the outcome. They have a victim mindset, give up too early. They underestimate how hard things can actually be, and thinking that success will be much easier than they deserve. They underestimate the time frame of when they start something to when it's actually going to be successful. Most people underestimate how long it takes and how much effort you have to do to become successful. And so because of that victim mindset, they give up too early, they quit, and they reinforce them being a loser. Winners are just the complete opposite. And that's what I want to help you be today. The people who I work with who are winners, my mentors, my clients, my friends that I have who are true winners, including professional athletes that I know, millionaires, successful coaches, successful business owners, I notice that no matter where they come from, what background, what their ethnicity is, whether they're an immigrant, their education level, their race, or anything, despite all of that, they have these winning traits. It doesn't matter where you're from, where you went to school, whether you're black, white, purple, Spanish, whatever you are, this is the framework for being a winner, and it is not something that you're born with. It doesn't matter what circumstances you're in, how much time you have, how many kids you have, and that is something I want to really ingrain into your brain today. Because you see winners on TV, social media, in this coaching program, our client testimonials, and wherever else, and you think that people that always win, that they have just a magic pill stuck up their ass. What they have done is worked on killing off the behaviors, habits, and traits that made them losers. And they started to build the muscle that makes them a winner, meaning your character traits, behaviors, and your habits. You see, I wasn't born with a silver spoon or winner habits out of the womb, guys. In fact, I had the habit of a drug addict. When you are a drug addict, you develop behaviors, loser behaviors, which led me to 3 years in jail. And so I learned these bad behaviors, and I had to completely do the opposite when I got out. I had to kill off the habits that resulted to me going to jail and develop new winner habits, which in all honesty took a lot of time. And it's still something I'm working on. I'm in no way, shape, or form perfect. And I still make a lot of mistakes. So I wasn't just born like this, being a millionaire. It was developed, and I had to kill off a lot of the loser, shitty habits I was doing to get the winner habits, to reform myself, to reborn myself. And this is the number one reason why people fail in life. If you don't kill this off, pay attention very closely right now, guys. If you do not kill this off, you will always be an underperforming, average loser, period. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. If you are okay with making an average income, having an average physique, having an average relationship, that's fine. You don't have to pay attention to this video. But if you want to be a high achiever, you want to be a 6-figure, 7-figure earner, then just keep listening because I'm going to share those habits with you. Number one is that winners are goal-oriented. They are focused on an outcome that they want, and they are fully focused on that outcome. It's very specific, not general, like, oh, one day I want to be successful. That's what losers say. Winners think specifically, not in general. Winners say, I'm going to make 10K a month. Those little pivots in your word between want and going. I'm going to make 10K a month by this specific time frame and by doing these specific activities. So they set a specific goal in a specific time frame and how they're going to actually achieve it. Now, of course, most will experience adversity that you didn't anticipate along the ride. It will probably take longer than you expect, and that's okay. Or in some cases, shorter. In most cases, it's longer though. For me, to be honest, it's always been longer than I expected. And in most cases, you're going to experience more adversity than anticipated, like myself. If you're anything like me, like a normal human being. I believe when you say things like, I will be successful one day, is such a shitty goal. Like, what the fuck is that? It's what losers say. That's what it is. But if you're like, I'm going to make 10K a month as a fitness coach by the end of 2024 by doing 50 messages a day, posting content, and taking my sales calls, that is a winner. That's what winners say. Now, you are a focused man or woman when you present your goals like that. Number 2 habit is to be competitive. And this might steer some of you away. But most winners are competitive. And again, you don't have to be a winner. You can be average if you're watching this video. But the reality is that most people in society are taught to not compete, to be docile, to settle for average. Because it's scary, because there's a chance of losing. Because maybe it's egotistical if I want to be competitive. And of course, losers are going to think you're egotistical if you're winning, because they're not where you want to be. And they're okay with being average. So they want to justify why they're not where you're at and look for a reason for a winner to be a bad look, for you to be egotistical. This is your enemy. The losers in life are okay with non-competitiveness, with being docile. But high-performing, high achievers are extremely, extremely competitive. Winners are competitive, and this is another muscle that you can develop. Winners measure their success against people who are doing what they do. That can be in your mindset, that could be in your physique, that could be in your relationship, that could be with money, it could be with anything. But you cannot be a winner in one aspect of life and not have it reflect in other aspects of your life. Typically, you don't find people like that, right? It happens, right? One person might be really rich, but the relationship sucks, for example, right? But when you find a winner, most winners carry on success with their money and other areas of life. If you're non-competitive with your sloppy body, for example, if you're a fat slob with Cheeto dust on your stomach, and you're okay with being a fat fuck, not being healthy, your relationship sucks or whatever, being okay with an average income, being an average income earner, whatever it is, in most cases, these people are letting other criteria of their life also be average and accept that. This is a loser's mindset. The way you do one thing should be the way that you do everything. If you're not competitive with your money, you're probably not okay with your body either, and vice versa. Accepting a sloppy body and accepting an okay average income, saying things like it's too much, why should I do more? Whereas winners are always all in and competitive with everything they do. Doesn't matter if you start playing cards and they never played the game, they're still competitive. Their health, their wealth, and relationships. Because success isn't just about money. but it's also your relationship with your lady, your boyfriend, whatever. It's your health, it's your spirit. If you're successful with money but not your health, I do not consider you successful, and vice versa. If you're successful with your body but not money, my friend, I have news for you. You are average, and that is not acceptable if you want to be a high achiever. This is how the most successful winners think and the habits that they have. Number 3 is being disciplined and structured. Winners, athletes, Kobe Bryant, The Rock Johnson, business owners are all insanely disciplined, far beyond being, and structured. For example, The Rock has enough money. He's worth billions in net worth, massive brand that he has. And so he can literally, he can be a lazy fuck for the rest of his life and still live better than all of us, probably. But he wakes up 3 a.m. every morning and never ever misses a workout. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is one of the hardest working and highest paid actors in Hollywood. He has an insane work ethic. Even though he starts early, he no matter what, if he has a shoot at like 9 a.m., 5 a.m., he's still 3 a.m. in the morning. Make sure his ass goes to the gym. He's extremely regimented. And the guy only sleeps 3 to 5 hours of sleep every night. And he's fine with that. Obviously, the gym plays a huge central role in who he is as a person. And thanks to his rigorous habits, he's worth freaking billions, right? Again, he starts his day every day at like 3 or 3:30. He's highly disciplined and structured. And most people will be like, man, what's wrong with just going to the gym for 30 minutes, like at any time, like whenever would be fine. Maybe you for an average person, right? But for a high performer, high achiever, and someone who's competitive, they want to go into the gym and a mission. They're with their daily habits, are on a mission with a structure. So you don't just wing it every time you guys are in the gym. If you're a high performer, you go in with a structure every single time you do something. And it's the same thing with everything else. When you wake up, you have something specific. When you train a certain body part, you eat something specific, right? A carb intake might go higher when you do legs versus doing arms, right? This is the same thing. You're very specific because you have structure. So for the past 6 years, guys, I've been on the same identical morning breakfast. It rarely ever veers off, guys. Eggs for the past 6 years. When I was bodybuilding and was doing online fitness coaching, I ate eggs, chicken, tilapia for years, straight up with no carbs. And not saying that was correct. I'm not the all-seeing eye. I'm not saying I'm a master nutritionist, but I had a mission to be the leanest machine around, period. Sometimes 800 calories per day for weeks on weeks, just to be the most shredded dude in almost every room I entered, which I was. My programming for my gym routines are still pre-structured, right? My schedule for my day is pre-structured and put together on my calendar in a disciplined way. Everything I do is batched for a specific time. The meetings, the recordings, the YouTubes, the podcasts, the content, etc. Everything is all structured for a specific time. And when you have this discipline and structure, you are predetermined to win your fucking day, your week, and your life. For example, as a fitness coach, you guys should be batching specific times to focus on one thing and one thing only at a specific time, despite how many kids you got, how many jobs you got. If you work a 9 to 5 every day, batch your content on the weekends to be laid out for the week. Every night you should set up and structure your next day and have a non-negotiable task list. X amount of outbound DMs, message my clients and post my content. Those are really the only 3 things you need to focus on. Those are your priorities. If that means waking up earlier or whatever it is, then you got to do it. But get in the habit of disciplining yourself every day of structuring this out. Everything is structured and batched at a certain time window, and that is how you become consistent, disciplined, and become a winner. Number 4 is you're laser focused on one thing. If you guys show me someone who is a loser in life, then you're showing me someone who has a zillion ideas and they all are half-assed attempted shit. No real tangible results. All half-assed. Great ideas, but they got a million. They get motivated one day. They take on maybe a new program. Maybe they start a new training program. They're trying to get fit, but have no focus to stick to it. Versus a winner is someone who absolutely goes all in on one thing, not many different things. To give you an example, is for the past 3 years, I focused and went all in on PT Legends. Now, I do have the money to open up another business, do real estate, be an investor, etc. But I won't allow myself to get into anything else until my mission is accomplished, which is $20 million per year. When I do, I will then give myself permission to focus on something else. And that might even be a mistake. I don't know yet because I never made $20 million. But that's when you can diversify, when you completely master one thing. Most winners, despite what you see society say, oh, make 7 incomes, that's bullshit. Most winners focus on one thing, make millions of dollars, then they diversify their portfolio. And I can tell you because I know billionaires personally. Number 5 is impulse control. Extremely important. Think of how many times when you're doing some work on something, maybe you're sending some DMs, maybe you're posting some content, and then you get distracted and you lose sight of what you agreed with yourself to focus on. So you start your outbound messaging, or you start posting a piece of content or recording a piece of content, then your girlfriend messages you or your mom messages you, and now you're messaging her. All of a sudden, an hour passed by and it took you an hour to create one piece of content. That is your impulse control. And of course, there's many other examples that can distract you, cat videos, porn, whatever it is. And this is very challenging to control. I still have trouble with it. But it's the same thing as a fat person, why they stay fat. Every time they are a little bit hungry, they decide to eat shit, dog shit, right? Instead of just facing the music and accepting that you need to be a little hungry in most cases to lose weight. You have to have that control, because when you're working on yourself and you want to produce a winning outcome, it's hard. It's not easy to build a business, guys. It's not easy to lose weight or build a brand. It's difficult work, which is why you want to impulsively not take that break of eating a burger or go watch porn or distract yourself, right? Like the fat person, if a fat person eats every time they're hungry, that's why they're fat, right? Because you have to be somewhat hungry to lose weight if you're 300 pounds. So it's just delaying your goals for a simple pleasure or a temporary pleasure. And I learned to never make a permanent decision based on temporary simple pleasures. At least if you make this decision the majority of time, right? You can't be perfect, but if you make the decision to not act on your impulses 80% of the time, you'll be a winner, because of course we cannot be perfect. But the problem is that most humans make impulsive decisions 80% of the time instead of not making impulsive decisions 80% of the time. So the bad outweighs the good. Number 6 is prioritization of your time, or you can call it time management. So people who want to win, athletes, business owners, content creators, or whatever, you need to prioritize the highest producing activities. For business owners, that would be money making activities. For fitness, some may want to work out at a certain time when they feel the most strong, so they can be the most effective during that time, right? So for an athlete, say for example, that they feel strongest during the morning, so they prioritize that time to work out in the morning so that they can have more intensity and more focus at a certain time. So you prioritize a certain time where you feel the strongest and most energetic, right? So the priorities are managed to maximize results. Winners will prioritize and do things that create more money, more meaning for yourself, and matter. Not on things that don't matter. For me, personally, in the morning, I'm doing focus work. I prioritize my mornings to do the things for business because that's what matters most to me. And for me personally, that's when I'm the most energized, creative, and able to get the most amount of work done in the least amount of time. So I try to ignore everyone and focus on deep work in my business. For you, in the startup phase, again, that would be messaging, content, knock it out the way. When you have that window of time where you're most optimized, where you feel your greatest. A winner's number one task is proper allocation of time. Winners are those who master this. Number 7 is an athlete's mindset. If you want to win in anything, whether that's your relationship, your fitness goals, business, you're an athlete, whatever it is, you got to be athlete minded, right? These people treat their sport like athletes. They don't really drink often in many cases. If many of them don't drink at all. For me, I rarely drink because my sport is business. I don't drink because I don't want to feel like shit. I don't want to be foggy headed. I don't want to be unfocused. I'm 34 now. I'm like hungover for like 5 fucking days. It makes you wake up late, right? And even if you do wake up late, you're just not completely there. So it doesn't allow for me to do the focus work as efficiently with a clear mind. So I stick to the same sleeping patterns. I rarely drink, don't get me wrong, I do. Of course, again, I have things that I can improve on, but it's only like once or twice per month. But imagine if I didn't drink at all. So I treat myself like an athlete. I eat strategically every single day, the same thing, same times, and think like an athlete with my business. When I say strategically, I mean I literally spend zero time on cooking so I can allocate all that time towards the sport of business. I eat at a certain amount, the same calories every day routinely. And winners think like athletes. The better you condition your mindset to thinking like an athlete, the better you will play your sport. And your sport doesn't have to be an actual sport, like playing football. But if you're better conditioned in your mindset, physically, spiritually, mentally, the better you will perform overall. So you are far more likely to win if you're better conditioned and play the sport of life like an athlete. If you're not conditioned like this, then at the first sign of adversity, stress, or something goes wrong, you quit and give up. So, guys, those are the habits that I found to be a commonality with those who dominate and who are winning in life. Again, it's being goal-oriented, specific time frames, specific goals, competitive, disciplined and structured, laser freaking focused. You have impulsive control, time prioritization, and you have an athlete's mindset. Understand, people are not born with the lottery ticket stuck up their ass. Some are stronger at some, characters than others when you're born. But most successful people develop this muscle by training hard on it, practicing, making mistakes and bouncing back. And they kill off the loser habits of settling for average, the loser habit of not being focused, the loser habit of falling to their impulses, not having control, and making temporary decisions based on temporary pleasures, right? Their lack of resilience when things get tough. So I hope this training helped you guys, because our number one goal, the tactics and strategies are great in here, but the hardest thing to transfer to you guys, our number one thing is a transference of habits. Because if I can get you guys to have my habits or even halfway, you become successful. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I want to remind you guys that we had the live mastermind event March 30th in Miami, where we're going to have exclusive speakers talking about personal development, expert mindset coaches on stuff like this, people who actually literally make money off of self-mastery, business, of course, making money. And it's an opportunity to network with me, other people who have similar mindsets like you and who want to dominate in life. Also, of course, we'll party on the yacht together. And I know I said don't drink, guys, but again, 80-20 rule. Let your good decisions outweigh the bad. That will be my 20% for sure. So if you like, guys, of course, join us. Just go to go.ericanthony.com/mastermind event or message me the word mastermind event, and we'll see you next time.